without any further ado, let's begin the reveal here, Charles, and starting with the #1 overall seed.
Well, the #1 overall seed is Purdue, and they're going to the Midwest. A number of quality wins, 7-0 in the top half of the first quarter.
That is impressive. I tell you what, this team has only lost 2 games. They've been consistently excellent, and the addition of Lance Jones in the backcourt and the play of Braden Smith has this team set on Phoenix, and I think they've got a great chance to get there.
This team is great, so we know who #1 is. I don't want to blow it, but I think we know who #2 is. There could be a debate, but much deserved by Purdue. And I think for all of us, we want both these teams to stay healthy because it would be incredible to watch them match up at the end of this tournament.
That sound you hear is America rolling its eyes that Purdue is the #1 overall, not in terms of your process, but can they avoid those first-round upsets, those early upsets of the last 3 years? I'm telling you, everybody, they are a much better team. The freshman guards last year are sophomores, added a 5th-year senior in Lance Jones.
Yeah.
Don't make the Big Maple mad. He takes it personally.
Oh, drop leaves on you. A redemption tour for them, perhaps. So the Midwest region, that would mean Detroit for Purdue, should they go that far. Let's now move to the 2nd overall seed.
The 2nd overall seed is the University of Connecticut going to the East. 13 wins in quad 1, quad 2.
Boy, I tell you what, 13 straight wins they have going into this afternoon tilt against Marquette. This is a big, balanced, ball-sharing team. 60% of their field goals made are assisted on. They very well, guys, could rinse and repeat as national champions.
And you couldn't restrain yourself. That was the team that Jay expected to be #2. But now, who is the 3rd #1 seed?
Hey, Houston in the South, different league, same results, elite defensive team, only 3 losses on a very good schedule.
All right, very good. And, you know, Houston is getting set to face Texas here on CBS at the top of the hour. And Bill Raftery asked Cougars head coach Kelvin Sampson about being the 3rd #1 seed.
The bracket preview show has you picked as the #1 seed in the South. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's a byproduct of the season we've had up to this point. But there's a lot of season left. And the more important thing to me right now is how we play this afternoon against Texas.
Long way to go, huh?
Long way to go. I mean, they have those shows. It's great interest. March Madness is a phenomenon into itself, so they have those kind of brackets. A lot of eyeballs on it this time of year, and proud of our team up to this point. Great group of kids, and look forward to the game today.
Still a sense of accomplishment, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you know, coaching in the Big 12 keeps you humble and grounded. You know, there's no room or time for celebration, anything. Even when you win a game, your mind just goes right to the next game because in this league, there's a lot of booby traps and trap doors.
That is classic compartmentalizing by a coach right there.
For sure.
Because right now, going into this game, the last thing he's thinking about is being the 3rd #1 seed. But he's thinking about Max Asmus and how do they stop Dylan Vasu, because those two in pick and roll are incredible.
Yeah.
But someone might even have to remind Kelvin after the game, and by the way, you're the 3rd #1 seed. Congratulations, buddy, because he is focused on this game.
No doubt. We'll see if it goes to overtime, like their first meeting did as well. And so they would go to Dallas in the South region, by the way. And so now, for our 4th 1 seed, joining Purdue, UConn, and Houston, our final #1 seed, going to the West, Charles.
Arizona goes to the West, top 5 in every one of the matrix that we looked at.
Well, I know Arizona fans don't forget this, but because of Purdue's pratfall last year in the NCAA tournament, some people may forget that Arizona also got upset early by Princeton as a 2 seed going out early. But let me tell you something. Tommy Lloyd has learned from that experience. He brought in 2 transfers, Caleb Love from North Carolina, Keyshawn Johnson from San Diego State, 2 guys who have played in a Final Four. They may play in a Final Four again.
Charles, I think Arizona's deserving. I have to admit, I was thinking a little Marquette, a little Tennessee, a little Carolina. How close were they with this 4th spot? Did they sneak in, or was everybody on board?
Didn't sneak in at all. For the first time in the history of our committee, 1, 2, 3, 4 was chosen by all 12 members in that exact order.
Wow.
Arizona firmly on the 4 seed.
Wow. And these 4 1 seeds would be geographically very happy, by the way, with their eventual locations. Of course, lots of basketball still to be played over the next month here, Charles. But looking back at last year's bracket reveal, and all 4 teams, they went on to stay as 1 seeds. The only changes to the seeding were Kansas jumping to 3rd overall and Purdue falling to 4th. Might there be some more movement this year, you think, as you look at what happened last year?
You know, our history overall from this top 16 reveal, 80% of the teams that are in make the tournament. We do know that there's going to be some movement. These teams have some very difficult games coming up. We'll be watching. I don't anticipate a whole lot of movement, but we'll have to wait and see. A long season still yet to be played.
So moving on now, Charles, take us through all of the 2 seeds here.
At number 5, we have North Carolina going to the East. Number 6, Tennessee to the Midwest. Number 7, Marquette to the South. And number 8, Kansas to the West, with wins over Houston, UConn, and Tennessee.
So we're doing the show at 12:30. If we did it at like 6, if Marquette wins at UConn today, I think they would vault ahead of Arizona. And I'll make this prediction that Arizona will not be a 1 seed on Selection Sunday. They have 0 Quad 1 games remaining on the regular season schedule. Marquette's got 4, Tennessee 4. To me, they're like racehorses kind of getting on that inside rail, seeing the dash to the finish line. I think one of those two is going to jump.
You certainly aren't shy about your prediction. Right in character, partner. For me, I'm looking at this North Carolina team because I think defensively and in terms of the experience they added with Ryan and Ingram, I really think they've got a chance to be really dangerous. R.J. Davis is having a phenomenal year, and Armando Bacot, one of the best double-double guys in the country.
And I look at this, and I like Tennessee, and I'm thinking this is a little bit of an eye test by the committee, Charles, because they could be a Final Four team. They're rated high here, but Marquette has 6 road wins and 6 Quad 1 wins. I thought they might have been a little bit higher, but I feel you on Tennessee because I think they're a possible Final Four team.
Yeah. Tennessee is definitely strong, and we will continue to look at them as we go through this process.
Yeah, long way to go. And we continue now with the number 3 seeds, Charles. So now we're going 9 through 12.
So at number 9, we have Alabama going to the South. Number 10, Baylor going to the Midwest. 11, Iowa State in the East. And number 12, Duke going to the West.
Well, I take a look at these 2 teams, Bama and Baylor. They are 3-point-centric shooting teams with dynamic guards. Those 2 ingredients, Jay, you know, can be certainly helpful when you're trying to make a tournament run. Guys that can make threes. They make 21 threes between these teams and attempt 52 a game and shoot right under 40%. So dangerous groups, both of those teams.
So you see Duke not only on the 3 line, but the 12th overall. So they're the last number 3, but North Carolina there as the 5th overall. Of course, those 2 will play each other again in Cameron, possibly get in the ACC tournament. Bragging rights are great, but what they really want is to be in the East. So if Duke wants to get to the East, they're going to have to get there through Chapel Hill.
And you guys mentioned the teams. Like, we all know Duke, Alabama, the power of these teams, Baylor. But I'm telling you, I've seen Iowa State live.
Yeah.
Taman Lipsey, their point guard, is a winner. He's tough. He's physical. They're the 3rd best defensive team in the country. They've won big games on the road. This is a really dangerous 3 seed.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay.
Could make a run. Yeah. They've got multiple guys that can score on this team. Yep. Everyone knows Taman Lipsey, but they can score it as well as defend it.
Yeah, Keyshawn Gilbert can get it done.
Ooh, he can get it going.
Yeah, they've got, that's a good group.
We now round out the top 16 here, Charles. So how about the 4 seeds?
At number 13, we have Auburn going to the West. At number 14, San Diego State to the Midwest. Number 15 is Illinois in the South. And rounding out the top 16 is Wisconsin in the East.
And there's all these protocols you have to follow. So I'm seeing Illinois and Wisconsin could not be in the Midwest region with Purdue because they are fellow top 4 seeds from the same conference.
Absolutely. So we have principles and procedures that won't allow those matchups that early, so we have to adjust the bracket to be able to follow our principles and procedures.
Charles, well done, my friend. I was with you all the way until San Diego State. I had Dayton instead of San Diego State, who I think deserves it. But San Diego State's big win against New Mexico's puts them here probably. Are there any other teams? Was Dayton close? And are there any teams like that were close?
Dayton was absolutely close. Great conversation about Dayton, as well as Creighton and Clemson. Not in that particular order, but all 3 of those teams right there on that 16 seed line fighting for it.